I hadn't been meaning to wait so long to find the stream that leads into the reservoir, but I had such a good time exploring those first two locations that I just kind of forgot. Now all three of these locations are actually connected by the reservoir. And each spot is actually less than 2 miles from each other and forms a triangle where the stream side of the reservoir is right in the middle. I came to this part of the beaver swamp thinking that this was the main stream leading to the reservoir, but it's really just one of many that leads this way. Looking over this part of the swamp, I realized if I just turn around and cross the road, and there it is. This is not the stream I was looking for. We're still a little too far downstream, as this part of the reservoir looks more like a reservoir or a river than a stream. So we're gonna head a little bit more upstream and see if we can't find what I'm looking for. Turns out that this reservoir actually shares the stream with another reservoir. And the dam for it is actually at the head of the stream I've been looking for. Now this drastically changes my impressions of what I might find when I get there. Because with the dam behind it, I'll no longer find a free-flowing stream that feeds the reservoir, but a fluctuating stream controlled by the dam behind it. The water is stagnant in most places right now, so I'm having a little trouble finding out what is the main stream, or just temporary pools or temporary channels, or maybe even the work of the beaver. Honestly, what I hoped to find was a good location to observe a kingfisher dive, because most of the water in this area is around 2 feet deep. So I thought it would be a perfect place for the kingfisher. But the water in most places over here might be too muddy for them to fish. And I don't even know how well suited these areas are for fish. If the water isn't moving very much, it's still, it's stagnant, it's pretty muddy, there might not even be enough oxygen. I'm sure there's something that lives here, but maybe not enough to sustain a habitat for the kingfisher. I've seen and heard a lot of woodpeckers, but I haven't seen any egrets or herons in this part of the stream. But the landscape in this area is pretty striking. There's not a lot of underbrush, so you get quite a clear view through the trees, and everything is just surrounded by this lush grass, which underneath most of the grass, the ground is pretty soggy in most places, and that's probably why it's one of the only things that can survive here. I followed the water as best I could, but at one point I couldn't go any further. But the area here is so different from the last two places that I explored, even though they're so close together. With more wide open spaces, with this lush green grass everywhere, I didn't really see much life other than plants, a few insects, and some birds. So I think I need to move further on down the stream and see if the water becomes any clearer, see if I can find a location where maybe it's moving a little bit, and not as far as the big lake part of the stream I was at earlier. I decided to take a look at the dam on my way out, see what it is that's holding all this water back. And when I get there, there's more than a dozen great egrets and a great blue heron hanging out in the water by the dam, which is a good sign, because at least that means they're fishing frogs in this part of the stream. Now, of course, all the pictures I took of the great egret came out terrible, but when I crossed over the bridge, I got a pretty clear overhead view of a great blue heron. And I got a few good pictures. How do you think they came out? Till next time, what's in your backyard?